everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to talk about the power of resistance, and this is exactly why. I posted my first ever YouTube video, and it was supposed to be a really long, maybe 20-minute video, and it turned into 3 minutes. That was the plan went completely out the window. So, then I was like, right, okay, I'm going to get another video uploaded this week. It's a week later. So I'm only I'm only a week behind, so I don't think anybody's really gonna care that much. But everybody was like, "Oh my god, haven't got a chance to watch your video yet," and I was like, "It's only 3 minutes long. Like, you're not really missing out on much." So let's talk about the resistance. Also, did anybody notice I got my braces off? Because I got my braces off, and I'm in love with myself now. Because I have straight teeth. Anyway, right. Not the point to this video. Just thought I'd point it out. Also, can you hear my earrings clanging? That's gonna annoy me. Anyway, so I faced so much resistance, like talking in that video. So anybody who knows me already, I'm very comfortable talking on camera. I don't really care. I kind of just am myself. I don't feel like I put on any sort of like persona or anything when I'm in front of a camera. I kind of just talk. And I've always been like that. I've posted on TikTok for I think like a year now. I think, has it been a year? I think it was last April. Um, I started properly posting, but I suppose it's actually been way longer than that because I also have a nail business. So I've been on social media for like 2.5 years actually, but I only took it seriously like a year ago. Anyway, shut up, I'm rambling. Um, I'm very comfortable in front of a camera. I don't really care. I don't put a lot of pressure on myself to be perfect and talk perfectly. I don't really care that much. I think it's actually nicer when you see somebody that, for the likes of me at the start of this video, going blah, blah, blah. I think that that's more authentic, and I would far rather that from somebody I'm watching on social media. But I don't know what it was when I sat down to film that intro. I was going to introduce myself, and I was gonna, like, I had this whole plan in my head that it was gonna be a really long video and it was gonna be something so useful for people to watch. And then I sat down to film it, and all the words had just left my brain, and it was like I could not form a sentence and I couldn't talk. It was like I didn't know who I was talking about. And I sat there and was just staring at myself in the camera, going, what am I even doing? Like, what am I talking about? So I got my notebook and I wrote down everything I wanted to say in like bullet points. And I started to read out the bullet points, and the bullet points weren't connecting together, if that makes sense. Like, nothing was making sense. And then I kept looking at my notebook and going, oh, what's this? Like, what am I talking about next? I've never ever been like that. So what turned into the idea of like a really long video turned into just get it done, because you just need to get something out and you can try better for the next one. So there was so much resistance. I couldn't talk. I kept fidgeting with my hair. And then I was like, no, this setup isn't good enough. I'm going to change my setup. So then I had to record the whole thing again. So people looking at that video thinking, oh wow, she started a YouTube channel. Like, I bet that had a lot of people say to me, like, you're so brave for doing that, and like, really go you. That might have looked easy. It was not easy. And I literally just said to myself, I was like, just put it out. I don't like it. I think it could have been a lot better. I was reading from my notes and editing in the gaps in between every one, because I could not, when I mean I could not, like, articulate my thoughts. I couldn't like speak properly, and I was sitting there and there was so many fears that came up. I was like, I'm like, who am I to be doing this? Like, nobody cares what I have to say. Like, I'm just stupid, and I can't talk properly. It's all these limiting beliefs I have, like, that have showed up for me in my life, started coming out in that video. So I started getting really in my head, like, nobody actually cares what I have to say. Nobody knows me, and who am I to be giving advice to people? I took a step back and was like, do you know what this is? There is so much resistance here. Why is the resistance showing up? Why is this so difficult when this is something that I find really easy? This is not in me to be so, like, I didn't feel scared, and I didn't really think, like, who's even going to watch this, or like anything like that. I didn't feel scared, but subconsciously there was so much resistance. So I was like, why is the resistance showing up? And it was to teach me to push through it. And in pushing through the resistance is where I found my power. And I looked up the psychology of what resistance is, and basically it is a defense mechanism that protects us, like our vulnerable parts. Most people give up at the first sign of resistance because they're like, I can't do this. If it should be easy, if it was meant for me, it should be easy. And if there's this much resistance, I just can't do it. I obviously can't. And one of my favorite quotes ever, I say this to everybody, whether you say you can or you can't, you're right. You have to choose to push through it in order to get anything from it. Because yes, sometimes things can be easy. It's a catch-22, because I always say, like, things don't have to be difficult. In my card readings, a lot of the time what comes up is people thinking that life is so difficult, and going through life thinking, oh, things are just difficult and there's no way out of this. Like, this is just my life and I just have to struggle, struggle, struggle. It gets to be easy. It does get to be easy, but resistance also shows you how much you want something. Because I was sitting there going, I haven't told anybody I'm starting this channel. I quite literally put it out and everybody was like, what? And I was like, surprise. But like, there was no pressure for me to put it out, exactly, because nobody knew. So I didn't even have the thing of like, oh, I'm gonna be so embarrassed, like saying, oh, I'm gonna record this video and like not release it. You know, there was none of that pressure. I didn't want to be the person who tried and give up before they even started. So I was like, no, I'm going to push through this. And I am just, it does not have to be perfect. I would be quite a perfectionist with like even my editing or my videos or like stuff like this. Like, I'm literally sitting in a baggy t-shirt in my bed, like just chilling right now. It's 6:40 and I'm just recording a video. Like, my hair's not even done properly. I don't care today. It doesn't have to be perfect. And that was a big lesson that I had to learn as well. And it also ties in with authenticity, that not everybody is perfect in the real world. It didn't have to be perfect. I was trying too hard to make it amazing and get everything correct and say the right things and get my messaging across, which yes, you kind of do, but also it was just supposed to be an introduction. So what turned into what what started off as a plan that didn't work out, it turned into a 3-minute video that still meant something. Like, I still did it, I still put it out, and that was the point. I let go of the limits I put on it. I was like, this has to be perfect, it has to be this, it has to be that. When I let that go and just let it be how it was going to be, it became so much easier. So I released my resistance, so the resistance like faded away. I was able to talk, I knew what I was talking about, I knew what my message was, and I was able to also reflect and go, like, what is the point of me doing all this? My mommy was saying, I went to my mom and I was like, I can't do this. And she was like, sit down and breathe for 5 seconds. And I was like, right, okay. Sat down and breathed. And she was like, so what's your why? Why are you doing it? I was like, I just don't know why. Who do I think I am to be educating people and like, who do I think I am? And mommy was like, yeah, who do you think you are? And I was like, what? You're supposed to help me. And she was like, I'm helping you. Who do you think you are? Why are you doing it? And I was like, well, I don't know. And she goes, well, then you're not ready. And I was like, I am ready. And she was like, okay, then do it. And I was like, okay. The advice and the resistance taught me how much I wanted it. Taught me how much I wanted to push myself. I wanted to be really like satisfied with myself, that I pushed myself out of my comfort zone and did something that is going to grow, like, not exactly my business, but like, I am so excited to see what I can bring with this channel. I see so many people my age, and even people say to me, like, how are you so peaceful? How are you so grounded? And like, where do you learn all this stuff? And honestly, my answer sometimes is like, I just got this from my mum. My mum is a life coach, for anybody that doesn't know. Not many people have resources like that. And people my age that are in their teenage years or early 20s don't have the money to be paying for coaching or like really high level like therapy and things. So I was like, I know a lot. I could bring that to people in a way that they understand and to somebody that is relatable. But I know I'm still like, I'm only 18, so I don't have that many years on me, but my life experiences have brought me to this stage that I have a lot of knowledge on even coping mechanisms and like how to regulate your nervous system, how to heal from trauma, how to get over your limiting beliefs. And that is something that a lot of people need. And just like, I want to use this channel as a resource for people so that they don't have to stay stuck, if that makes sense. Like, you don't have to stay in your own mind patterns. I can barely remember what it felt like to be so anxious and so insecure. Like, I get glimpses of it going, like when I see somebody else, for say, when I see somebody else that really struggles with like um their mental health, or somebody that struggles with their confidence and stuff, I see my younger self in them, and then I think, oh my goodness, like I can't even remember what it feels like to go through that every day. And I am so grateful that I learnt the tools how to get out of that. And I know now that I will never struggle through anything again. Everybody has hardships in their life. Like, life is literally like waves, there's ups and downs. But I know that the up is coming again. Whereas a lot of people are stuck in the down because they don't see the other side of it and they don't have the tools to come out of it, if that makes sense. I don't know if I explained that properly. Also, back to resistance. If I let resistance win, I would not have accomplished anything in my life. I don't think I would have accomplished half the things that I would put down on a paper as an accomplishment. For anybody that doesn't know, I started a business when I was 16. I do nails, and there was so much resistance when I started doing nails. I did not have a good friend group, and when the idea came into my head to start doing nails, I had done my own nails for about 2 years and I did my mum and my granny's. So I was like, maybe I could do it for extra pocket money. I think I was on like £5 an hour, working part time in a shop. And I liked the job, but it was just boring and it didn't stimulate me enough. And I was like, I could do nails because that's really good money and that's something that I do like at home anyway. So what if I did that? And my friends were like, you? Why would you do that? And I was like, well, just, because I could. And they were like, no, you couldn't. Sure, it wouldn't go anywhere, so why would you even try? And I was so hurt. But there was this little thing in my head saying, I want to prove you wrong. And I chose that. So I could have chose to listen to other people's opinions, but realistically, if you look at the bigger picture, start a nail business or be too scared to do it. Which one benefits you? Which one benefits you more? Yes, starting a business is difficult, and there is so much resistance that, like, I now looking at it and talking about resistance in this situation, it's like, oh my god, I can't believe that I actually pushed through. Like, I cannot believe I pushed through that much. So this is the whole point to this video, Sophia. All my friends told me I couldn't do it. I really struggled to get clients at the start. I had absolutely no money to be buying the products, and I didn't really have a space to do it. I was doing it from my living room on like a wee table, and I was so scared because, like, everybody around me, my mum was the only one who told me I could do it. My mummy told me from day dot that I could do anything I wanted to, and I am so grateful to her for that, because I think that has literally set me up for life, that she was like, you can literally do anything you put your mind to. Although there was so much against me doing nails and starting that business, I was like pushing for clients and trying to get people in for free, trying to do giveaways, everything I could, and I was not really succeeding in it at all for a few months. And then on a whim, I was like, I'm going to quit my job. And everybody was like, but you have no clients. And I was like, well, I'm going to make space for the clients. So I quit my job. And the next minute, my business blows up. I'm fully booked. And in, I think, 4 months, I had about 40 clients a month. And in 6 months, I think I had 50 or 60 people in every month. And like, it blew up. I was really successful with it. I really loved it. And I made so many friends from doing nails. And it gave me time, money, freedom. I am so grateful that I pushed through and I did that. I wouldn't have that experience if I expected everything to be easy. Like, you genuinely do have to push through for the things that you want. And again, resistance shows you the things that you actually want. It teaches you determination. I also wouldn't have started social media if I fed into the resistance, because like, everybody judges you for starting social media. Like, at the start, it was me promoting my nail business, and everybody was like, oh my god, look at her TikToks. And it's like, oh, get over it. Everybody and their granny posts now. And then I started posting properly, and I can bet people, like, I still get people watching my profile like every day and just watching everything I do and not liking or following anything. So I know that they're judging, and I don't care. I don't care. But I never would have started it if I had listened to opinions or the fact that it wasn't working out well for me. Because, like, here, I don't have that many followers. Like, I have 2,000 followers on 2,500 followers on TikTok, and I don't care. Like, I pushed so hard for followers, like, for about 6 months, and then I actually stopped caring, because I was like, what do I even want them for? All I want the followers for is validation. And realistically, I don't need validation, because I like myself. I know what I'm doing is good. I like my content. The people who are engaging like my content. So why am I, like, overlooking the people that are supporting me over the numbers that aren't there? Like, I don't need to put numbers on it, if that makes sense. Social media is a whole big game on resistance, because if you put pressures and you put this idea of, I'm gonna grow really quickly, or like, I'm gonna get invited to all these events, and then you don't, you give up, because you're like, oh, it's not worth it. It's not working, so it's not worth it. And like, I'm just gonna give up. Push through the resistance. My TikTok isn't doing that well. It does okay. I don't care anymore. But instead of being like, oh, I'm gonna give up, I just don't care anymore. I'm just gonna give up, because nobody watches my videos anyway. I don't have that many followers. I've been trying really hard, putting loads of effort into it, and it's not coming back to me. I decided to start a YouTube channel instead. So some people would look at me and go, why is she doing that? But to me, that's what feels good. starting a YouTube channel to some people is like only for people who are really famous, whereas me, it feels like a different energy to me. I just feel like I'm really not aligning with TikTok anymore, and partly that is because it's not growing the same way I'd like it to, but there's something that's not aligning, otherwise it would be growing more, you know? I guess that's why I'm here. So for the last bit of the video, I want to ask you, who would you be if fear didn't limit you? If you had no limitations, who would you be? What would you look like? What would you wear? What kind of hair would you have? How would you present yourself? Would you be more extroverted? Would you be more enthusiastic? Who would you be if there was no fear limiting you? And I want you to journal on it. I want you to write everything down, and I want you to literally visualize this person that you want to be and start becoming it. Because you see, if you put down everything you want to be, you look at it and you kind of make fear look silly, and you go, genuinely, what is it that is holding me back from being this person? Is it the fear of being judged, the fear of being rejected, the fear of abandonment? Or if you're rejected and abandoned, are they just not your people? Being yourself, you will find people who align with you rather than constantly feeling rejected by people who you're not supposed to like be surrounding yourself with. They're going to reject you because you're just not their type of person, and they're probably not your type of person either. If you choose every day to become that list of who you want to be, if you consciously choose, I'm going to let go, it's easier said than done, but it's possible. There might also be a fear of who you might lose if you become that person, or what you might lose. Who would you be if fear had no limits on you, had no hold on you? And be that person. Start to be that person. One thing that I think I want to be is I want to be more open with people when I first meet them. I feel like I shut myself down when I first meet people because I'm like, oh, they might not like me. And then I sound like a twat. Like I'm standing there going, eh. And then I'm like, that looks worse. That looks worse than coming in and being like, hi everyone. Also, somebody that comes in and is really loud and like extroverted, half the room's gonna hate them and think, oh my god, they're too much. And the other half of the room is gonna be like, I absolutely love her because she is so cool. She just loves herself. She's so confident. You're never gonna be everybody's type of person. Ever. You're never gonna be everybody's type of person. You just need to find your people and people that accept you and let go of the people that don't. Well, at least there was no resistance with this video. I quite literally wrote down a list of stuff I was going to talk about, talked, rambled, whatever you want to call it, and now I have to edit. Sorry, I just ate the mic. It's wet. And now that I've pushed past the resistance, I am so happy because now I'm really, really excited for all the videos that I get to film, and like I'm really excited to start growing this channel. So I'm really proud of myself, and all I had to do was push past this one time. This video was taken in one take. So that's a win for me, and I don't care if nobody watches it. But if you did, I am very, very grateful, and thank you so much for watching, and I will be back with more videos. So bye.